Welcome to Xbox On, where today we're getting all reflective and looking back at the biggest Xbox releases, updates, and announcements from the month of May. But let's kick things off with a bit of news that's actually about a certain event happening next month. Yep, it's been revealed that the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase will be taking place on June 13th at 6 PM UK time. It will be 90 minutes of Xbox games, world premieres, and new titles on Xbox Game Pass, which is more than enough to get excited about. We'll be covering the event right here on Xbox On, and just like you, we cannot wait to find out more.
It's hard to believe, but this November will mark Xbox's 20th birthday. I know, it makes me feel old too. With so much to reminisce over, it makes sense to get the party started in May with the release of a whole bunch of themed wallpapers and profile pics to commemorate it with. Xbox Series X and S can even download a special new dynamic anniversary background called The Original, which is a neat way to call back to the Xbox consoles of old while showing off how far the newest generation has come. And with content lined up all the way to the big day itself, this is just the beginning.
As much as we enjoy looking back, the Xbox team are always thinking about what the future of gaming will look like, and more importantly, what it should look like. On May 20th, Global Accessibility Awareness Day, Xbox announced the creation of the Xbox Accessibility Insider League. No word yet on when Zack Snyder's director's cut will be released though. The Accessibility Insider League is a streamlined, easy-to-use way for players to provide developers with direct feedback about how accessible their games are and how they might be improved, helping them to build the most inclusive era gaming has ever seen.
May also brought us another console update, which added a bunch of sweet quality of life improvements and general tweaks to help make your Xbox experience even better. Quick Resume is one of the Series X and S's slickest new features, letting you hop in and out of games at the push of a button, picking up right where you left off. And it's now been supercharged to make it even easier for you to view and manage the games you have frozen, giving you total control. Throw in a new dynamic background, improved audio for your media apps, parental controls for multiplayer games, and a bunch of new additions to the Xbox mobile app, and we'd have to say it was a pretty sweet update all round.
And lastly, on the hardware end of things, May saw the release of the combat-ready Days Strike Camo controller. It's important you have a gamepad that you really like the look and feel of, which is why Xbox has kept a steady stream of new designs coming. The latest combines a red and grey camouflage aesthetic with all of the little touches which make Xbox controllers so satisfying to play with, like the textured grips, hybrid D-pad, and the share button for making sure all your friends know exactly what you're up to, which is kind of the opposite of what camouflage is for, but still.
Okay, now that we've got all the general business taken care of, it's time to jump right into the new games that May had in store for us. Starting the month off with a game where a 9-foot-tall vampire lady chases you around a spooky castle is a great way to get your heart rate going, for one reason or another. Resident Evil Village begins in a pretty rough place as Ethan Winters finds himself whisked away to a mysterious Transylvanian village that has been overrun with werewolves, mutants, and other bump-in-the-night things, none of which seem overly pleased to see him. The 4K visuals and stunning ray-traced effects will make you want to explore every inch of the village, while literally everything else about it is sure to have you cowering behind the couch in fear.
Commander Shepard's epic quest to save the galaxy is one which deserves to be told over and over again, especially when there's shiny new tech available to make it look that much sleeker. Featuring a total visual overhaul and Series X console exclusive 120 FPS frame rate, the Legendary Edition really captures the awesome scale of the game's story as you travel the stars, making enemies, friends, and very good friends along the way. And the best part is that you don't just get to sit back and watch this beautiful space opera play out. The choices you make along the way will ultimately determine the fate of everyone around you. Just ask Bex, who's still facing the repercussions from the Xbox On community for her recent Twitch stream. At this point, we'd usually show you a clip, but so we don't give away any spoilers, we'll just say this. He deserved better, Bex. He deserved better.
I take absolutely no responsibility for my squadron's actions. Anyway, arriving on the very same day was another game which takes you to the far reaches of space, Subnautica Below Zero. Sadly, this time you don't have the full backing of a Galactic Federation or a bunch of well-armed allies to help you on your mission. In fact, everyone else seems unsettlingly keen to ignore your sister's disappearance altogether. So you'll have to do some investigating, traversing the game's vivid open world to uncover the secrets that are hidden in its icy depths. The thing which makes the first-person exploration game so immersive is that there is always something new to find, whether it's a new type of creature to document or another clue along your sister's trail.
If you found the world of Subnautica to be a little hostile, what with its sea monsters and severe weather, you should probably stay well away from Rust, because this game has absolutely no chill at all. Rust is an online-only survival game which plonks you down with nothing but a torch, a large rock and a pair of underwear to your name. And in a way, that means the world is your oyster, where you're free to scavenge materials to craft everything from weapons and armor to a nice little hut for you to live in. The only problem is you'll be competing for resources with all the other players who are running around out there, and some of them are packing a lot more than rocks and underwear.
Arriving into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and EA Play on launch day, the world of Knockout City certainly looks a lot more inviting, what with its bright colours, upbeat soundtrack and kooky characters. But it is also full of people who fully intend to smack you in the face with a dodgeball if you give them the chance. Whether you're playing in a team or taking on a single opponent in a solo duel, Knockout City has an intuitive punch and counter-punch rhythm where you have to look for the right opening before launching a ball at your opponent, praying to the dodgeball gods that they don't manage to catch it and send it rocketing back your way.
Scala Nexus takes place in a near-future city which is under attack from bizarre creatures known only as Others, which would be a mighty big problem if it wasn't for the likes of Yuito and Kasane, both of whom have psychic abilities that are great for just this sort of supernatural pest control. Plus, bonking them on the head with a great big sword seemed to do the trick just fine. Xbox players got the chance to get hands-on with the game in May, courtesy of a free demo, and they'll get to dive into the full thing come the 25th of June.
Fans have been waiting a long time to get their hands on Biomutant. The premise is basically, what if you had Kung Fu Panda but completely deranged, outfitted with a bunch of cyborg limbs, and also it's an exploration game. This whacked out martial arts epic lets you genetically engineer your own furry fighter to take off on an epic quest to save the world, using kung fu and missile launchers. Featuring a lush open world and some truly amazing creature design, the native 4K you'll find exclusively on Series X is a real boon in a game where everyone is so delightfully fluffy.
And speaking of sweet graphics and unbridled insanity, Saints Row the Third came crashing into the next-gen world with a brand new remaster for the Series X and S. Grand Theft Auto's less well-adjusted younger brother took the typical sandbox game format and threw in a ton more toys, including some that are not entirely appropriate for children. So while the game's main story involves rival gangs and shady corporations and all sounds very GTA, the rest of the game brings in zombie attacks, insurance fraud, parachute invasions, clones, and professional wrestling. And now you can enjoy it all in luscious 4K 60.
May also brought us plenty of sweet new content for the games we already love, starting with a brand new season of Apex Legends. Titanfall fans were in for a treat this season, with Viper's daughter arriving as the latest Apex legend. Valkyrie has re-engineered her dad's old kit into a pair of mechanical wings, making her the perfect choice for players who love to claim the high ground. And we also saw the permanent addition of Arena Mode, which pits 2 teams of 3 against one another in a straight-up deathmatch, free from any outside interference.
Watch Dogs' latest title update introduced us to a new playable hero called Mina Sidhu, whose psychic powers are sure to make a hit with those who take a mind-over-matter approach to life. And it also threw in 2 new operatives, a story mission involving Egyptian antiquities, and a bunch of new co-op missions.
Minecraft Dungeons got a taste of the life aquatic thanks to the Hidden Depths DLC, where you can tussle with some particularly salty bad guys, retrieve sunken treasure, and even befriend a baby turtle. Plus, thanks to the addition of cloud saves, you can now go spelunking between any of your devices.
Whether you're looking for the daredevil speed of NASCAR or the engineering elegance of Formula 1, Rocket League now lets you take them both onto the field to see how good they are at playing football, which probably wasn't something the people who designed the cars took into consideration, but hey, that's not your problem.
The season of the Splicer is upon us in Destiny 2, and it's bringing back a true classic of a raid with the Vault of Glass. Plus, it adds a new transmog system so you can dress your Guardian to the nines before you send them off to save the galaxy.
Rogue Company kicked off its second season with a new map called Breach and a new rogue named Mac, a large Scotsman with a highly suspicious accent, a claymore and a knack for explosives. Just try to take his freedom, I dare ya.
And for a little more Celtic action, you can sally over to Ireland with Assassin's Creed Valhalla's latest DLC, The Wrath of the Druids. You'll find plenty of new potential allies while you're there and lots of secrets to discover. Just watch out for the fellows in robes. Weird vibes from those guys.
Finally, Warzone decided it was time to reload Season 3, and so naturally it looked to two men who never seem to run out of ammo. Diehards John McClane and Rambo from Rambo. Both skins are the perfect way to add a dash of 80s excess to your game, plus there are just so many catchphrases to yell. Yippee-ki-yay.
Now, let's wrap things up with a quick recap of just a few of the biggest titles which landed on Xbox Game Pass in May. Red Dead Online rode into town for all you aspiring gunslingers looking to posse up in multiplayer, while Just Cause 4 Reloaded a ride for those who prefer their open world games with a little more firepower.
Psychonauts brought its mind-bending brand of cartoon action onto the service just in time to get us all ridiculously hyped for the sequel, while the slick remaster of Destroy All Humans might also tide you over if psychic powers and bizarre humour are your thing. And with FIFA 21, the most beautiful version of the beautiful game that we've seen so far also came strolling down the EA Play tunnel. Oh, plus there was a game called Maneater about a baby shark that turns into a big shark and eats everybody. I think we're gonna need a bigger hard drive.
So, that was me. How do you think that went? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll be back soon with a whole new month full of games, updates, and general Xbox goodness. Bye!